To me, the Integrative Learning series is a series of courses, one every year, geared towards to collectively use all the skills I've developed throughout that specific academic year and to reapply them in specific situations and develop those presentation and the soft skills that are necessary to help us to be successful either professionally as well as throughout our scholastic career. For example, I took the first course in the series, and it was the Speech Comm 111 course. And this course really focused on learning and understand interpersonal skills, such as ability to communicate verbally and through written form, as well as to be able to present information through cases, as well as to be able to draw back from different skills I've learned from accounting courses to the table and to work with each other through teamwork settings to kind of bring this product to the table and to develop those skills that are necessary at the workplace, as well as to be able to apply those skills at an extracurricular level as well. For me, like a really strong, important factor in soft skills is the ability to communicate and to be able to listen very carefully from other people as well. So the ability to communicate is a two-way street. So through presentations as well as through team settings, you realize that it's really important to be receptive of other people's opinions. And through two-way communication, you can develop a lot more synergy within the group and to develop a much greater product that you won't be able to do if you're alone. So through Speech Comm 11, that course will taught us to be able to work in teams and to not take criticism in a bad way, like not personal attack, but as well as us being able to accept those criticisms to ensure that you morph your own like portfolios to make sure that it really fits what's needed and to make something good out of it. I definitely think that being in an integrative course or with doing an integrative case really allows you to go back to and revisit concepts that you weren't really concretized in the beginning. So for example, like an AFM 101, like Introduction to Financial Accounting, there were a few concepts that I was iffy about that even though I passed the course in first term, you're forced to revisit in the second term because of this case, and that the course itself forcing you to relearn concepts that were iffy in the beginning is a really important aspect, because later on, second, third, fourth year, the introduction to financial accounting is the basis for all the auditing, taxation, all those courses. So being able to revisit those concepts and to kind of just settle down to iron all the details and any misunderstandings was definitely important. And I felt that the course itself really addressed that concern and the whole need that for any professional to have. I definitely agree. Like through the first month of Speech Comm, like we didn't really do a lot of integrating at first. So when I took my managerial accounting course, I didn't really see how that managerial accounting really fit with the financial accounting, and that like it was just two different districts. And then, however, when I start reading the Speech Comm 11 case, it actually referenced to both of these courses and the third one, the general business course, and you kind of start seeing the linkage between all three and how it really kind of triangulates to kind of form a really strong foundation for why it's important that you take those two courses in first year. Because in first year, when I first took like business and accounting, it was really segregated, and like we felt that there were no real application of one to another. And so through the case itself, by drawing in those three courses, the terms and the concepts, it really does allow you to think holistically, as you mentioned earlier, and to really consider the stuff you've learned on a much more holistic level. The blend of theory and practice really came to play during the case study, as I mentioned earlier. And I actually feel that if we did another one throughout the course, that would have been a better choice, because being thrown into the water right away to really figure out how the case logistics and everything, how it worked, was definitely a challenge. And I do like the challenge, but having like a mini case to kind of give us like a preview would definitely be less of a shock for everyone. And regarding the blend with theory and the practical really came to play during the case, in the sense that there were specific terms that were being referenced back to like AFM 131, the Intro to Business. For example, like total product offer, that was a term that was used in the case. And if you forgot what it meant, you had to go back to the 131 textbook and to look at what that meant and how you can properly address that objective of the case. So being able to recall and to reuse that knowledge and to recycle that knowledge into your own presentation was definitely an important skill that we have learned. To be honest, when I first heard about Speech Comm 111, it sounded like a language course, and it's mostly just about like learning how to speak, presentation skills, and all that stuff. So to be honest, I didn't have a lot of understanding about what that course would be. But then when I started taking the course, at the very beginning, like the first half of the course was more about like theory about interpersonal power and interpersonal skills in a really theoretical basis. But later in the course, when we did the presentations and the final like culminating case study, it really did apply the skills I've learned in that course as well as courses previous to that. So my perception did change a lot basically by the end of the course, and it's definitely a good change though. It's a good change.